This is a huge month for Arrow Video. This massive stack of releases represents everything hitting shelves from Arrow in the US. And look, guys, we got to kick it off. We've already talked about this. I gave this a full dedicated video a couple of weeks ago, and I'm glad I did because you know what? This sold out in pre-order phase. As far as I know, this is gone. Now, you may be able to find some stores, some online retailers maybe that still have Enter the Video Store, Empire of Screams in stock. But if you want it, if you see it, you better grab it because it's pretty much sold out before it even hit the streets. That's how awesome this is. I'll reference you to my full review for this box set. Probably it's one of the releases of the year. Will it make, is it the #1 release of the year? It's pretty awesome. All right, let's dig into stuff that we haven't talked about for the month of June yet. We've got Waterworld on 4K. If this looks familiar, it's because it's pretty much a straight upgrade of the previous Blu-ray box set version of this, which I also have a full dedicated review for. And we're also going to talk about Mallrats. See, these are re-releases. These are not re-releases. They're 4K upgrades over previous editions. And for comparison's sake, this is the Blu-ray that we've already talked about. So we'll compare that to the 4K in just a second. The game trilogy. This is something I wasn't even aware of. So I've been discovering these movies. It's a trilogy. I've watched 2 of the 3 so far. Really enjoyed them. So I'll give you my review for that in just a second. And we got more martial arts cinema on Blu-ray. This is another Sammo Hung movie. And there's so much to talk about here. Let's kick it off with Waterworld because, as I said, this is pretty much a direct 4K upgrade over what was a limited edition box set. This is now a limited edition Blu-ray box set. This is now the same box set in a 4K version. Here's the highlights. First of all, go watch my review for the Waterworld Blu-ray box set because everything that I have to say about that translates directly to this. Only this time we're talking about a 4K. So you do get everything that was included. You get the amazing booklet about Waterworld, full of text and information and writing. You get the double-sided poster with the vintage and the new artwork. And you get 3 cuts of the movie. You know, I've discovered recently, somebody told me that Arrow, that they hid Easter eggs on an Arrow Blu-ray, and since then I've found 2 more Easter eggs on Arrow Blu-rays, or Arrow 4Ks as well. So I'm wondering if there's another cut, because there's even more cuts of the movie. Like there may be things hidden here. I haven't even looked yet. But you're getting it's the 3-disc version. The theatrical cut is presented in 4K. So that's the 4K disc. By the way, we have art cards, which I'll show you in just a second. But that's the 4K disc. And then on these other 2 discs, we have the TV cut and the Ulysses cut, which is, again, I've already done a review for these. So check out my Waterworld video. I've also linked to it in the description of this. I've popped it up here probably, and I've linked to it in this video's description. It also includes, and this is huge, guys, because this is the reason to buy this thing, Maelstrom, The Odyssey of Waterworld. This is a feature-length making of documentary from Daniel Griffith, Ballyhoo Motion Pictures. It is the definitive chronicle of Waterworld. Again, feature-length. They've talked to pretty much everybody that'll sit down and do an interview. It was like some of them aren't even alive anymore, but it's definitive. It is the document about Waterworld, and it is amazing. And I'm glad that's here because people need to see that. Here are the art cards that come with this release. And what are they teasing? Oh, Wild Things. It's a good 4K. I'm not prepared to say the movie's good. The movie's fun. The movie is what it is, right? But that's a good 4K. That movie's never looked so good. All right, so the book, the poster, all that, and you get this, the collectible hard box. Arrow does this from time to time. The Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 4K. Let me look at my shelf here. Tremors, Legend, Flash Gordon, Wild Things, An American Werewolf in London. They do these, and these are like definitive box sets for whatever movie they're tackling. So I love that. Here, let me make this as photogenic as possible. All right, let's talk about Mallrats. Again, I think this is a straight upgrade over the Blu-ray. So this is the 4K, this is the Blu-ray. I'm gonna flip these around, 4K Blu-ray. The text is even exactly the same. It's in a slightly different font. I'm gonna freeze that and let you read all of that if you want to compare. But I mean, you know, when we talked about, what was it? It was The Last Starfighter. When they did the 4K upgrade for The Last Starfighter, it included most of the stuff, but it was a little bit different. I think this has everything. First of all, teaser card for Desperado, which, bring that on. I love that movie. Maybe it'll have El Mariachi hidden as an Easter egg. That would be fantastic. The blueprint, the plans from Mallrats, these have been carried over. This is one of the things that was included in the Blu-ray version. And now we get this in the 4K version. So we have the theatrical cut in 4K right there on that disc. The other disc is the extended cut, also on 4K. So you note there is no Blu-ray here. This is 4K. Pack all this back up. And here's the booklet. They've carried over the booklet. There's the table of contents. And I don't, we don't need to go through this page by page, but Suzanne, you're all that I wanted in a girl. It does have this piece of artwork, and it's reversible. So if you like this better, well, that's there. It's the same movie, the same presentation, the same special features, but the 4K version. Put that right there. Let's talk about the game trilogy. This has blown my mind. This is like an anime. They're 70s movies, but so they're late 70s movies. I think it's 1978, but they feel like earlier they feel like maybe 1972 blaxploitation movies. They've got a jazz soundtrack by a Japanese jazz composer. They're action movies. I mean, he's basically, if you guys remember Golgo 13, he's basically a hitman for hire, and he is not a nice guy. He's a very irredeemable character. He is, I mean, women and children, like, he will kill anybody if the money's right, it seems like. And again, I haven't watched the third movie, so maybe he has this huge redemption arc in the third film. I don't think so. I think, like, the first movie, he's just terrible to people. And then the second movie, I feel like they're like, let's double it down. But they are pretty amazing for what they do. They're in both of the two that I've watched. By the way, the films are the Most Dangerous Game, The Killing Game, and The Execution Game. And I believe they're all 1978. The two that I've seen, he does, like, you know, The Raid was really famous for, like, oh, it's like this really long one shot where they go into the building, and okay, they did that in the 70s. This is 1978. The first two movies both have scenes where he goes in by himself into a building, and just, like, it follows him from room to room, like up the stairs. Very detailed choreography, that meticulous planning. They're fantastic. And again, can't speak for the last one. It may crap the bed with the third movie, but they're super iconic. Like, look at this cat. And interesting, like, here he is in this shot, he's smoking. Every scene, he's constantly smoking. And he died of cancer at 40. So, a cautionary tale. But he died of cancer at the age of 40 following his Hollywood debut in Ridley Scott's Black Rain. Here, did I hold this up so you freeze? I know that's very small print, but freeze that so you can read everything that you want to read. But I mean, this artwork is gorgeous. And here's the contents of the booklet. Show you some more. So the good thing about these booklets is you get to see some photographs and some pictures. I mean, leather jacket, boots. Come on, I need another full pager. Give me another full. Oh, that's cool. They're stunning. They're like anime brought to life. It's like real life anime. So the first movie, The Most Dangerous Game is on the first Blu-ray, and then the second Blu-ray they've split 2 movies on 1 disc. We do have reversible artwork, which is, it's this artwork, and then this is the reversible artwork. We have a teaser for horror. And here it is, guys. This is like I could actually see myself putting this up somewhere. This is the poster with the new artwork, and check out this vintage artwork. So I mean, if you're a Japanese movie fan, if you're an anime fan, you're gonna want to check these out. The first movie, I will say, is chock full of nudity. I mean, I can't believe how much nudity there is in this movie. I'm sure, I think these are making a disc debut, released for the very first time outside of Japan, with their cool blue cinematography and a sultry score by jazz legend Yuji Ono. I can't imagine how they could have released these outside of Japan, because they are very graphic and adult and just nihilistic. But I have had, like, they're great. Seeing some of the things that they do with these movies, it's very impressive. Last but not least, Warriors 2, another Sammo Hung martial arts movie. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I watched this as soon as it came in. I remember it, but it's already blended in with every other martial arts movie I've watched in the last 3 months. Like, it's 70s. It's, you know, that very specific style of, like, you know, learning the styles, fighting the master, like all that stuff. It's fading very quickly. But I did watch it. It was enjoyable. And it's Sammo Hung. It continues to do that thing that I just can't reconcile. My Western brain just can't reconcile, which is that it has this brutal, hard-hitting martial arts action, and then the dumbest, silliest comedy that feels very for kids. Like, the action doesn't feel like it's for kids, and then the comedy absolutely does. I'm trying to think if there's a particular scene, or I mean, it's got a great training montage. It's got a great final battle. You know, it's the thing. Like, you got to learn the style. Here's the bad guys tell. So many of these movies follow the exact same formula, but it's fun. And, you know, for martial arts fans, like I keep saying this when I cover these, there's a moment happening right now where all of these martial arts movies that haven't had respect in the United States, we're getting them. I mean, it is a flood. It's not a trickle. It's a flood. It's more than I can keep up with. And if you're buying them, I mean, everybody's putting out these box sets and these releases. First of all, that's cool. I like that. I remember, look, this comedy fight. Comedy martial arts fight. Here's the table of contents. Now, this is great, right? But this also could be one of 100 martial arts movies. But I enjoyed it when I was watching it. And they give you the campaign book. That's cool. They give you all the... It's well done. If you're a fan of these movies, I feel like this is essential. Because, you know, $20, $25, you're owning movies that we never had access to in the United States before. So this is a big, big month for Arrow Video. And I can't believe that this box set is already... I can believe it. But I'm sad for the people that are going to miss out. Hopefully there'll be some announcement about maybe releasing the movies individually, or... Can they do a repress on a limited edition? I don't know. I feel like maybe they underestimated the interest in that box set. But great stuff here. I don't love Waterworld. I love the idea of Waterworld. I think what I say in my review, which was years ago, 4 years ago maybe, is that I love, like, every time I sit down and watch Waterworld, I want to like it more than I do. I love so much about it, but ultimately it is kind of a failure because it doesn't quite manage to capture. That's why we have 3 different cuts of the movie on this presentation. But I mean, it's Costner at the peak of his Hollywood power as an action star, coming off Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and I mean, he had a lot of cachet in Hollywood at this time. arguably this movie is what ended that cachet. The documentary talks about how he basically took over the directing of this and how he and Kevin Reynolds had this falling out. I mean, it's fascinating stuff. And Daniel Griffith really did a great job talking to everybody. Mallrats is my favorite Kevin Smith movie. And discovering the game trilogy has been incredible. And hey, we got more martial arts on top of that. So, great month for Arrow. Let's talk about the movies in the comments below. I appreciate you guys. By the way, I'll put links in the description where you can order this stuff. You'll be supporting Cereal at Midnight and adding cool things to your shelf. So, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Take care. Till next time, I will catch you later.